Superman, 2025, reintroduces the legendary hero in a fresh vision under James Gunn's direction, placing Clark Kent 30 years after he was sent to Earth by Jor-El and Lara Lorvan. Raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent in Smallville, Kansas, Clark grew up with the lessons of compassion, truth, and justice, but also a deep awareness that knowing you're different means striving harder to belong. As an adult, he lives a dual life, the heroic Superman trying to uphold hope, and the reporter Clark Kent working at the Daily Planet, alongside Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and others who both challenge and inspire him. 3 years into his hero career, Superman has already stopped conflicts, saved lives, and become a symbol, but not everyone sees him as a hero. When the nation of Boravia invades Jarhamper, and Superman intervenes to stop it, the world begins to question whether his power is a blessing or a liability. Into the rising tension steps Lex Luthor, the ambitious billionaire who believes Superman's presence undermines human agency. Luthor whispers that Superman must be limited, if not controlled. Then chaos erupts when a mysterious entity, the Hammer of Boravia, attacks Metropolis. In a shocking turn, Superman loses his first battle, not due to lack of courage, but being outmaneuvered and outgunned. The world sees him injured, vulnerable, human in ways they never expected. Media, politicians, and ordinary citizens shift from admiration to fear. Clark retreats to the Fortress of Solitude, wounded physically and emotionally. Meanwhile, his loyal dog, Krypto, becomes more than a sidekick. In his darkest moments, Krypto represents Clark's last tether to the hope he promised the world. There, in the solitude and cold, Superman replays the message sent by his Kryptonian parents, a message he only partially understood until now. A message that once inspired him but now sickens people when twisted by lies. Shame, doubt, and identity crisis begin to bite. As Luthor's influence spreads, the real plot behind the Hammer comes into focus. The villainous mastermind has masked Ultraman as the Hammer, manipulating public unrest and setting traps that push Superman into distrust. Luthor unleashes the Engineer and deploys advanced drones to control events, destabilize trust, and manipulate perception. Lois Lane works relentlessly to investigate Luthor's schemes, alongside Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, and the Justice Gang, heroes who are inspirations in their own right, each with strengths, flaws, and doubts. These supporting characters bring humanity to the story: Lois's persistent moral clarity, Jimmy Olsen's loyalty, Mr. Terrific's intellectual brilliance, Green Lantern's cocky yet heartfelt bravery, and Hawkgirl's sharp edge as someone who sees both war and peace. As Superman recuperates, watching news cycles and oppressive headlines, he doubts whether his mission was ever pure or perhaps naive. Luthor's biggest move comes when he invades the Fortress of Solitude, stealing the message from Krypton, editing it so that only the parts suggesting conquest are audible. He broadcasts it globally, turning the narrative: what was once hope is twisted into fear. Why are we to trust an alien who was sent here? People wonder aloud. Clark Kent's secret identity becomes a weight. Public trust falters. Lois and Mr. Terrific work in the shadows, trying to expose the truth, while Clark works to restore what was broken: hope, faith, belief. His relationships matter because they anchor him, not only Lois, Jimmy, or the Kents, but everyday people who believed in him. And as the world teeters, Lex Luthor activates his final gambit, a black hole device over Metropolis, a literal abyss threatening to swallow everything Superman has sworn to protect. In the final act, with Metropolis collapsing around him and with Krypto captured, Superman must act not as a symbol but as a man of courage. The Justice Gang mobilizes, battling chaos, rescuing civilians, and trying to buy time. Lois Lane publishes the full unedited Kryptonian message, exposing Luthor's manipulations. Luthor's forces, his drones, Ultraman, the Engineer, confront Superman in a spectacular clash, with both physical might and moral weight at stake. Ultraman, revealed fully as a clone under Luthor's control, fights Superman with similar powers, pushing him to exhaustion. Superman draws strength from his human core, his love for the Kents, his faith in people, the friendship with Lois. In a moment of desperation, Superman tosses Ultraman into the growing black hole, closing it with heroic sacrifice or ingenuity. Luthor's schemes unravel in public view, he is exposed and brought to justice. Krypto is freed. Metropolis begins to rebuild. Clark Kent returns to Smallville briefly, reconnects with his roots, understanding that heroism isn't about perfection but choosing to stand when everyone looks away. Lois, seeing him at his lowest and highest, reaffirms her belief in him. In the final moments, Clark looks at the skies, hearing his father's voice again, this time unedited, pure. It's not conquest, but hope, not dominion, but protection. Superman, 2025, ends knowing he is both alien and human, more than powers and more than expectations. It is a story about identity, about trust broken and restored, about danger when truth is twisted, and about the strength in choosing love over fear. As credits roll, the world has changed, people have doubt, but Superman's promise remains, to be a light in the dark.